This is episode 11. This week we'll be covering season 3 of Game of Thrones, episodes 1, 2, and 3. We are your hosts. This is Nicole, and I have Armani here.
What's up, guys?
And we've got Mo.
Present.
Hey. All right. So, how's everybody doing? We took a little bit of a break, a little bit of a hiatus. So,
yeah, I've been doing the most.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That doing the most is continuing this weekend as well.
So let's start with that. How was the Super Bowl?
I didn't go this year.
No, I just went to the game.
No, I went last year, but I didn't go this year. Like the plug came through, but they were still trying to charge a little bit more. Like I kind of got spoiled because I went to the Super Bowl last year for free. So I'm just like, I ain't paying no more. Nah. You go for free? Now I don't want to pay. So I could have went, but I didn't feel like spending that kind of bread for some teams that I clearly care less about. So it was fun though. Yep. I mean, it was actually not as busy as I thought it was going to be in the city. Like it was really busy. There was traffic, and they was hitting over the head of like all the clubs and stuff like that, bars, lounges, events. But it was fun, which lets me know. I say all that to say I know Atlanta the way it was, and I know the city. Mm-hmm. Next year's Super Bowl is not going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be a hassle, and I'm just not mentally ready.
So where is it going to be at next year?
Miami.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like they're trying to put it in cities to draw people because they know the game's not doing it.
I mean, you kind of, but there's two things that Super Bowl does every year when they try to get people to go. They try to keep it in warm weather cities, and they try to give it to stadiums and build new stadiums, to teams that build new stadiums. So obviously Atlanta got this year because they built a new stadium 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Miami renovated their stadium, so now they got it. Tampa renovated theirs, so they got it. It's going to be in LA in 3 years, and obviously the Rams are building some super stadium that's going to be kind of rivaling, the Cowboys, Jerry World. I know the Vegas team is going to get the Super Bowl when they finish their stadium, which is going to be a Super Bowl that I probably won't go to because I don't want to be in Vegas for a Super Bowl. You think you want to, but nah, not really. Like it's going to be out of control in Vegas. So I just go for the festivities. I enjoy doing hood rat things with my hood rat friends and my cousin. Because my cousin works for Marriott International, so you get all her events too.
Okay, well, you know what? That's always a good thing to have since the game was trash. Right. And the halftime show was trash. So that was a recap of you doing hood rat things with your friends. Armani, what kind of hood rat things you do with your friends?
Nothing. We've been doing nothing but wholesome activities. We all just been working and playing Uno aggressively.
And getting piercings.
Yeah, and getting piercings. $1 piercings. That's the only reason why. You can get college students to do anything for $1.
So are you supposed to trust $1 piercings?
I mean, they legit do it, but the piercer is a little aggressive.
Well, because you got a bunch of fucking kids in your shop who aren't getting tattoos and just came for the $1 piercings. What the fuck do you think's going on? They're gonna be mad aggressive.
His only job is to pierce people. It's not like a tattoo artist. Tattoo artists don't do piercings. They have a piercer that's all they do is just pierce people. So I guess but we were waiting in that line for like an hour and a half.
Oh well.
Yikes. For a piercing?
They were $1. That's why he was mad aggressive, because there was mad people there to get $1 piercing.
Nah, I'm cool.
So Armani, what pierce?
I pierced my tragus.
What the fuck? Is that the technical term for it?
Yeah, that's the technical term for it.
I thought it was just cartilage in your ear.
Nah. The cartilage is, it is mostly just cartilage, but they refer to the cartilage piercing as the one that's just like the one hole at the top of your ear.
Okay.
Because this is the one that goes through like the side of your ear. Like where you tuck your earbuds into, that's where it goes. That's your tragus.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that was our science section.
Mm-hmm. You got it, dude.
All right. So season 3, episode 1. Okay. Yeah. So season 3, episode 1. Scared of Barracks. Valar Dohaeris. So, John meets
You ain't
Tormund.
saying it right. You're not saying it right. You gotta say it like Jockin say it.
How does Jochen say it?
You gotta say it with like that Russian hue is gonna be like Valar Dohaeris. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, you gotta say it like Russian, like you Russian. Valar Dohaeris.
You know what? I was watching episode, I think it was episode 6, and when Melisandre says it to oh god, that guy who is the priestess, the red priest. When she says it to him, like when they said it to each other, I was like, that sounds mad official. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and their exchange. And that was like one that made me realize how much shit I never paid attention to in that episode also. But obviously we're not going to skip ahead to that. But yeah, you're
So you ain't say it official.
whatever. I'm not even going to try again.
Say
Like,
it
I'm getting
official.
old. I'm a black girl from South Jersey. I ain't got that accent.
I don't got it either. What you mean?
Made it work.
All right then. So you make it work too. Heidi's.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got to get the accents where they fit in. If they say hot dog in Game of Thrones, we'll call you.
Yo, first off, I'm about
Yeah,
to
there
smack
you
him. I don't even want to say that now because you keep fucking with me because of the way I say it. So I'm not even saying that at this point. I'm just not gonna say nothing.
Hot dogs and water.
Ew.
Yeah, we about to fight.
I'm laughing because they like you gotta have that accent. Like I be watching the Joe Budden podcast, and when they talk about Ariana Grande, they be rolling them R's, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They be like Ariana Grande. You gotta say it right.
Okay. Well, I don't have this. I don't feel like that was any better.
Yeah, that was not better at all. Okay, just go ahead, move on.
Okay. So John meets Tormund. We finally get, Tormund. So Sam and the White Walkers reach Commander Mormont. And I thought we didn't cover this already. How the fuck Sam is still alive?
Yeah, we did. We just said it was the most unrealistic scene in the show. It just made no sense.
Okay, well, whatever. So John wants to be free. Let's see. Tyrion doesn't trust Cersei's feelings, mutual. Okay. So this is when Tyrion gets set to talk to Tywin, and Cersei's all like, "What the fuck you need to talk to him about? Like that's not his dad."
Yeah.
Stop being nosy.
Yeah, basically, like you tried to have me killed. You don't get to ask questions. So this was another one of those great moments between the two of them where it's like they have that. It feels like a real sibling bond. Like that. Are you gonna go tell on me? What are you gonna tell him? Like, I need to know before you go tell on me. Type situation. That's what I got. So Davos is still alive. He survived the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah, when you washed up on that rock on the outskirts of King's Landing.
Mad sunburn. That was just
with no fingers.
Fingerless and like 3rd degrees burns on his forehead. Like that was just looked so fucked up. His forehead was a wreck. He washed up. Oh, because he washed up on Dragonstone. How did he make it all? Oh no. Okay.
All the way over there.
He washed up on a rock, and the black guy, that his friend found him and took him back.
Yeah, you took him to Dragonstone. What was his name?
I don't know. He was like the best pirate in Volantis, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. We covered him briefly. The one non-slave black guy on the show.
Outside of the richest man of Karth.
Who was an asshole. Okay. So that's a good recap. So Rob and the Boltons, Rob and Daddy Bolton reach Harrenhal. So there's 200 dead Northmen there. So like, when did these Northmen get killed? Like, were they riding for Harrenhal and then they just got their asses whooped and they left their bodies there and then Tywin left?
This is where I was confused. Was Harrenhal where Arya and Gendry left?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I thought they went to go attack Harrenhal, And then Tywin was just like, all right, we don't need to be here anymore.
So who killed him? If Tywin left, because he went and saved King's Landing. So if he left Harrenhal, unless he slaughtered 200 dudes before he bounced, is that what to believe?
I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't think he killed that many people. I don't know. That was kind of a y'all missed a moment in the show. There was no real explanation. I guess I didn't think it was that important.
Okay, so it wasn't us. It was the writers.
Yeah, it was one of those things that was just kind of thrown in there.
All right. Rob puts his mom in the cell. We meet Maester Qyburn. I had always wondered where the fuck he came from, and now we know.
I put in my notes, they should have let his ass rot.
Had they not saved him, so much shit would be different.
Mm-hmm.
First off, they wouldn't have been able to save the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was his main contribution. We wouldn't have had the mountain. We wouldn't have had the wildfire. Right. We wouldn't have had that huge, what's it called, crossbow?
Oh, yeah.
Crossbow. He did create that.
You know, Game of Thrones is like the movie Crash, but on a whole nother level. Like saving...
Please elaborate. I said please elaborate on that.
Because it's like you save this one person's life or this minor interaction, you don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal, but then it plays a huge part in a whole mess of shit.
The 6 degrees of separation deal.
Yeah.
Or not that 6 degrees separation, the domino effect.
Yeah. Faux show. How did Qyburn get to Cersei? I think do we get that later?
Yeah, we get that later. Who?
Because he ends up fixing Jaime.
I think that's what it was. He went with Jaime back to King's Landing.
Okay.
Because he fixed his hand, and then Cersei was just like, okay, you can stay here. I like the fact that the other maester doesn't like you.
I mean, yeah. You pressing up on his territory.
Mm-hmm. Coming in without no chains. He's like a defunct maester, too.
With the black on, too. He ain't matching color.
All right. Tyrion and Tywin. Okay, so this exchange between Tyrion and Tywin was just like, damn. Because Tywin telling him you're not fit for this name, but you just happen to have this name. So why didn't he just drown him at birth? Like, if he killed your wife, he's a dwarf, he's fucked up, why not just drown him and say the baby didn't survive? Like, why put yourself through all these years of fucking hating this guy?
Because he's still a Lannister.
But no one would have known. Like, no one would have been any wiser. It would have been just one less Lannister. Like, if you felt this way about your son all this time, like, you hated him since the day he came into this world, because you blamed him for your wife dying. Why even keep him around?
Well, like he was a Lannister. And it's more of the point that he is a Lannister. Like, you can't just kill your family. Because what were the Lannisters' quotes or their words?
We still have not determined what the official words of the House Lannister are.
Well, go on, man. I always pays his debts.
But that's not official. Because I think at one point he asked, didn't Tywin ask Arya what House Lannister's words are? And she was like, Lannisters always pay their debts. And Tywin was like, no, people think that is, but it's not.
No, that was Bran. That was when the Maester was talking to Bran. When Bran was like, well, my mom's gone. So.
Oh, another one of them kids was having that conversation. All right, so yeah, Tyrion just wanted to be loved by his dad, and his dad just kept shitting on him. So I guess
he just wanted his dad to check on him. Like, that was his whole point for going there. He's like, you didn't see me this entire time, and like half my face is gone.
Yeah, he fully shit on him that whole meeting. Like, as if he already wasn't kind of down on his situation. He just literally kept pounding it on, like, yo, you ain't shit. You know, you killed your moms, like the whole nine. Do you think that was kind of like the early foreshadowing to have Tyrion be like, you know what? I'm going to smoke you when I get a chance.
Yeah, it really was. Like, I feel like that was the start, for sure.
I feel like it was after he was like, you're never going to have Casterly Rock.
That was during this conversation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like at that point, he was just like, what is my point for fighting for this family? Because like, you're pretty much going to let Casterly Rock rot there, because Jaime can't inherit Casterly Rock because he's part of the Kingsguard. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you'd rather have your family home demolished rather than give it to a dwarf.
And his answer was yes.
Straight up. You are absolutely right, sir. You ain't having none of this. Just some bad shit in Game of Thrones.
So Roz warned Shay to watch Sansa around Littlefinger. Roz was so wise beyond her station.
The wisest prostitute in the brothel.
I almost said some toxic masculinity shit just now.
Text it to me, maybe I'll say it, and then it won't be toxic masculinity.
No, I mean, it's facts. It's not like I'm not stating the obvious. So I'm just gonna be like, she's a good hoe.
That shit.
like it's facts. That's kind of what she is. But and she's good. She's being, it could be toxic masculinity. It's just I don't know. You hear stories.
She's multi-talented. I mean, obviously she's good at her job. She was a good trainer, and she was a good well, I don't know about secret keeper because she didn't keep Littlefinger's secret. She ended up telling Varys, and then that's what resulted in her downfall. But
yeah, he definitely said, "Oh, you're gonna be telling my stuff, Joffrey. Let me tell you about a favor I need you to do. You like playing with toys?"
Conversation went down. Like
that shit threw me all the way off.
We're gonna need to talk about that. That's a deep dive when we get there.
I like how you just try to dress up Roz's resume. It's like one of those things where you're like, okay, I was a cashier, but I was a customer service.
I can fucking work a resume. You give me a basic resume, I can touch it up.
She was multi-talented.
Mm-hmm.
Really? How are you going to turn a resume from that to the what's wrong with you? So you're a liar?
No, it's.
It's basic lying 101, is what you're about to say?
It's not lying. It's like taking out a thesaurus and you just use other wording. So instead of saying she was a hoe, she was in customer service. She provided a service. She was guest experienced.
Guest ambassador.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
She held a leadership role.
Right.
She's on.
That's what you want to say. She manages accounts. She's an account manager.
She's an account manager.
She was the HR rep.
She was proficient in guest servicing.
Oh boy, you something else.
Excelled in guest servicing, actually, not just proficient.
Sucking dicks for money.
She was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you go. I took the words out of my entrepreneur. She's very well in marketing, getting the name out there, like all of that. Boy, you something else.
She did that though. Recruiting, she had recruiting talent. She was experienced in recruiting and training.
She's very charismatic.
Oh my God, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to slide y'all my resume so you could be looking like the president of the United States.
I got you. Need a resume, doctor. Get at me. Okay. So Davos returns to Dragonstone, and then I like how Melisandre tried to shift blame. All the dogs talking about basically all your fault because you told him to leave me, and had I went, maybe y'all wouldn't have lost.
It was kind of like, what help you gonna do, woman? You weren't gonna fight nobody.
She saw that opportunity to blame someone else, and she fucking ran with it.
I mean, she really I'm not gonna say she obviously she's selfish, but she knows what it is, and she's projecting that on everybody else. Like she knows the power that she has, and so ain't nobody really gonna mess with her. She be like, we're gonna get to it in maybe the next podcast because I think it's episode 3 or 4 when like she got a dip from Stannis. She be checking them like nah, bro, get your ass whooped. I'll be back though. Like let me do my work real quick. And he trying to really get on. He trying to really get at her. Like nah, it's my show. And she's like, no, not anymore.
You're but a mere the Lord of Light.
Right. Like, you're a puppet. It's okay. I got you though. I'll be back.
So this Marjorie stops to meet the people. Joffrey seems to have a little bit of respect for for Marjorie? Do we call that respect, or is he just in awe of a female who's not kind of being told what to do? Like she has a mind of her own. So is Joffrey attracted to a free-minded, free-spirited woman?
See, that's not how I took it. I took it as like when the first time you put a dog in water and they don't really know what's going on. They're kind of just going with it, but they're just like, I guess, like, what's going on? Like, I'll go with it. I got no choice, but because I feel like he wasn't prepared for that, and he wasn't. But at the same time, he wasn't going to be like, no, we can't, because that would have just messed up his whole role as king even further. But
okay, a dog in water analogy. Sure, I'll run with that.
I mean, I get where she's coming from because I kind of agree. Like, he could just walk over Sansa and he realizes that obviously Marge has, like, I don't know, the Tyrells, let's be real. Were the Tyrells more powerful than Starks? Yeah.
They seem to have more money than everybody else. Like, everyone thought that the Lannisters had money, but the Tyrells really had fucking money, as we find out later on.
Exactly. So, to me, that power, obviously, with the way they projected Marjorie in the show to be like just such a beauty more than Sansa, like I feel like he a little sprung, you know what I mean? And then he sees that she kind of doing things differently, kind of taking control, and just like you said, he's kind of like, oh, I was apprehensive at first, but I kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? Just like the pool analogy. Like I jumped in and I was a little worried. And I'm like, oh, this ain't that bad. Let me go with the flow.
All right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Dany meets the Unsullied, so we get the Unsullied. The Masters of Slibber Bay is an asshole. Another one.
That was one of my favorite Dany scenes.
Or we haven't got there yet.
Okay.
We haven't got there yet. Baby steps. We're gonna get there.
Wait, what was one of your favorite scenes?
She's talking about the end of this episode. Oh no.
Yeah.
Next
the end of episode. Oh, okay. Nah.
Episode 3.
I want to say, what is it? Episode 5 when it's official. When the wine get handed off. That's my favorite part.
Yes. That's what she's talking about. That's what she's referring to.
Oh yeah. When she hit that response in that Valyrian, he was like, "Wait a minute,
yo,
you know this whole time."
Oh, because the shit he was saying was crazy.
Oh, it was going ham.
Okay. So the fact that they had every single Unsullied had killed a newborn baby, like that shit was crazy.
8,000.
And how many Unsullied did he have?
8,000.
8,000 newborn babies murdered. How the fuck did that town still have a population? Like
8,000 of them things.
That's some dark shit right there.
Not okay.
To write that in a book, it was like, hey, we're just gonna murk off a bunch of babies. Like,
yeah,
different.
Yeah, not okay. Not even a little bit.
So the warlocks send a little midget mercenary to kill Dany, and she fails. And that's when we get Sir Barristan Selby gets to meet Dany. So he saved her life. 3 episode 2, Dark Wings, Dark Word. Okay, so Brandon. No, not Darkwing Duck. I feel like that's honestly when I'm looking at this book, like that's what it looks like. I wrote. I was like Darkwing. Yeah.
What Darkwing Duck? Oh, okay.
Let's get dangerous.
My shit. We're gonna make that movies.
Do we want that cartoon?
Yes. What kind of shit is that? Yeah, I want that cartoon.
But do we want it in this modern ass animation?
No, I don't want anything else in this modern animation. Like Teen Titans Go? No. I'll pass.
Fucked up turtles. Like, I don't like the way Turtles looks.
What's wrong with
Honestly, I don't
modern animation? Spider-Man's in the modern animation. Y'all was ranting and raving about that.
Spider-Man is different. Like that.
No, don't you do that. Keep it what it is.
Okay, I'm talking about the way these cartoons look, not the movies. Like, cause I mean, Killing Joke looked perfectly fine. What year did that come out? 18? 17?
Like 17, 16.
Okay, well, which I would get of that, like, because that was a good animated movie.
I think really it would just depend on who did it. Like it couldn't be a Nickelodeon show.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe all the Nickelodeon animation is trash. Is that what Turtles comes on Nickelodeon, isn't it?
I believe so.
All right, maybe that's the problem. Because actually, Marvel Rising animation ain't that bad. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. No,
I mean, I hear you, but I'm for these because I mean, this is my deal. I'm for the remakes. I'm for people trying new things and trying to give us a new spin or new updated modern spin on things because guess what? If it's trash, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say it's trash and I'm just gonna go back to watching what I originally watched. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if this Aladdin is trash, guess what? The original Aladdin is fire. So I'm gonna just go back and watch that again. Same thing with Lion King. Same thing with Dumbo. Like,
I need Dumbo to be great.
Huh?
I need Dumbo to be great. Like,
I mean, I would definitely like for these movies to be solid, but if they aren't, you know, I have originals to fall back on.
that's
I can say right now you're gonna go see Dumbo by yourself.
why.
I have no interest. I don't like Dumbo. Dumbo's right up there with Bambi for me.
What?
I don't
compare Dumbo to Bambi.
I don't have any interest.
Who this woman?
Oh, maybe you were adopted. I think
I
you're
liked
switched up.
Bambi
Ain't
more than I
no
liked
way.
Dumbo.
What the fuck? Who likes Bambi?
Dumbo didn't say nothing that whole movie.
Yo, that was like the saddest shit ever. Like when his mom was rocking him through the cage. You need to go back and watch Dumbo. I don't think you ever really watched Dumbo. Because ain't no
I
way
doubt
you
she's gonna go back and watch Dumbo.
that shit have you crying.
I highly doubt that she's gonna go back and watch Dumbo for you. Highly doubt.
We're about to fire up this fire stick.
And she about to look at you crazy. She about to fall asleep on that ass.
Where's that
On
Disney
purpose.
you need it?
Right, she gonna fall asleep on purpose.
For real.
Take the glasses off and everything.
Yeah, when the glasses
Right.
on, that's
As soon as that glass come on, you already know what time it is. You get the heavy yawning. Yeah, shut it down.
yeah, that's crazy. We're gonna revisit that later because that is just not okay. Anyway, so Bran dreams of a boy telling him about the three-eyed raven. Theon's a prisoner, but we don't yet know by who. Who's holding him captive? Well, I mean, we know, but we don't know. Let's see. Brienne and Jamie are bonding.
Yeah, on their quest to King's Landing.
Request to return him to King's Landing. So, okay, pause. Top friendships on this show. What are the top friendships? Like the top, like, buddies.
Arya and the Hound for me. That was my favorite pairing. Like friendship.
Arya and the Hound for you?
Yeah. I feel like that was really one of the best character developing storylines on the show. Like when he was traveling with her and then afterwards, like even the interaction with him and Brienne after, like I'm talking like season 7. Well, yeah, it's season 7, right? Season 8's what we're waiting for?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Season 7, like when the Hound was talking to Brienne about Arya.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's yours?
I'll give you that. Well, I can't agree with her because for devil's advocation, I'm going to say probably best friendships. I think I'm going to go with Tyrion and Bronn.
Tyrion and Bronn was
Yeah.
that was a really good parent.
I had to put my 2 cents on. They just always was buddy buddy, you know what I'm saying? Like buddy buddy saved his life a few times. There's always jokes. You act like you started off as a sellsword, but clearly that sellswordness turned into like a good friendship. And even when he left King's Landing, which, hey, people, foreshadowing coming to it, it still came back to see each other, be cool. You know what I'm saying? So I like.
I think Brienne and Jamie for me because I'm wanting that ship to happen.
See, that's more of a relationship. You ask
See,
friendships.
Thank you. Tyler, talk to her. We don't care about these. You want to bust down. Nobody wanted to see the bust down or the one-hand man and the 6-footer.
So I mean, okay, they were great, but then like I really, really want her and Tormund because we know Jamie's gonna die. So like, if Brienne's gonna live happily ever after, her and Tormund, like that's the ship I read.
You and this Tormund obsession is ridiculous.
I'm just saying, I want him to be happy too.
You think he ain't been knocking down these wilding girls for the longest?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the way he looks at Brienne later on too, like that's what just makes it even better because he's totally like this crazy wildling, but he's into like this proper like lady. Like she's not a lady.
No, yes, like he likes her because she's not a lady. He's like this giant woman.
Oh, I'm gonna climb this tree. I can't do the deep voice like he do. He got a crazy deep voice.
He's like, I like women that can beat me up.
Yeah, nah.
Big baby.
No, I ain't rocking with it because I know anybody that can beat me up is gonna be taller than me. I ain't trying to rock with no 6'7" girl. I'm chill on that. I don't need those 6 feet.
Many of those. So let's see. Sansa and Loras re-meet. Because they've met briefly before, but now they actually like get to interact and talk. And she's like, "Oh, you gave me that flower," and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like some shit I would do." He didn't remember her at all.
Not even a little bit. Because he want that. Because he want that boy pussy. Yeah, I said
it. Again.
Bringing it back.
Oh, the conversation with Lady Olenna. Okay, so this is when we get the first real introduction to Lady Olenna, and her amazingness. Like she was just like, "Hey, just tell us the truth. Like we just really want to know. Like, is he as bad as we heard?" So we see that Lady Olenna is not like this is when she's like starting to really plot. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do because Joffrey's crazy.
Yeah, you could see her.
And
you could see her.
My bad. What'd you say, Mo?
I was saying you could see her like really. You could tell over these last couple episodes of how she's seeing these interactions with Joffrey, and she's really like analyzing how she gonna get him to flying fuck out of here because she knows he's just an evil, mean, terrible person.
For sure. Let's see. We got Lord Karstark and Robb. So like this is Robb's ascension was pretty fast, and his descension has been slow and fucking painful to watch. Because it's like piece by piece, you're just watching these bricks like just be taken out, and you know it's gonna come tumbling down because we've already seen the Red Wedding, so we know how this ends. But just like going back and rewatching it, it's like just piece after piece. Like, okay, that was the brick that made this fall. That was the piece that made this fall, and it's just like it's a lot. It's down.
Going back and rewatching it made me, especially like these last 3, 4, 5 episodes, has made me realize 2 things. Just like you said, I completely agree. Like the sadness of the breakdown of the Starks. You know what I'm saying? Not just Robb, but just how Sansa's about to go downhill. How Kat is just realizing like she'll never see Bran and Rickon again, and things going downhill for her. So just the demise of the Starks was really sad. Arya splitting up, Jon going through his deal, switching sides and you know what I'm saying? So I realized that, and 2, really miss Lady O. Lady O was the coldest.
Yeah, you know what? Later on, there's a great scene with like her and Tywin, and I was like, almost like, how did they not end up together? Like after his wife died, I'm surprised he didn't just try to marry her. Like if you want to really solidify this house, be like, fuck marrying off your kids, you marry Lady Olenna.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like there you go. There was some noticeable tension in that room. I picked up on it. I could have seen it. So okay, we get Meryn and Jojen Reed. Meet them, so we meet an actual warg. Yeah, it was on it or whatever.
I completely missed their names. I wasn't really paying attention to their names.
Okay. So we haven't seen the wildling one yet. I
No.
thought that already passed. Okay.
Yeah, we saw him.
No, he was. He was. We did see him. You're right. Because that's when he met Tormund is when he met the rest of those wildlings, and that's when Ygritte told him that he was a warg and explained to John what that meant. So, let's see. Jamie and Brienne are stopped on the road heading to King's Landing by those Stark guys, and Brienne fucks them up. And 2 quick deaths in the slow one, and that's when Jamie learns that Brienne ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a game.
Mm-mm.
6 foot got them hands. She started styling on them too towards the end of their fight.
She was
little one hand joints. Ooh, she was styling on.
For real. The Brotherhood this is when the Brotherhood and Arya were sitting in that little bar at the end of this episode, and then her, Gendry and Hot Pod try to escape off
Before the mountain can see him.
Yeah, or the Hound.
The Hound, yeah, that's what I meant.
And then the Hound's like, "What are you doing with the Stark bitch?" And it was like, "Oh, first off, why you gotta be so rude? Why you so angry?
Watch your mouth. Right, like, first off, watch your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Like, was that called for? She's a child. Like, and what did she do?
Yeah, she didn't even do anything.
Like, well, he's angry for no reason.
Like, why I gotta be all that, player?
Real. All right, before we get in episode 3, we're going to take a quick commercial break. This week's episode of the House of Lords podcast has been brought to you by
us.
Yes, it's brought to you by us. So if you would like to help us sustain this podcast and grow this podcast, here's a few great ways you can do so.
You could share the link to our podcast on your social medias. Let it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even MySpace if you're feeling nostalgic.
Yeah, use the hashtag BlurredPod. That's our hashtag. You can join the conversations that we're having. Let us know what you think about the things that we're talking about. On Twitter, you can use the hashtag PodIn. That's a now listening hashtag. Those other people know what you're listening to, as well as a great way to find other podcasts by creators of color. If you want to step it up a little bit and you want to help us out financially, you can check out our Patreon, located at patreon.com/House of Blurreds. We keep it simple. There you can donate as little as $1 a month, up to even more, whatever you're so inclined to do. There's some great giveaways on there depending on the different tier levels. Definitely check it out.
Or if you're not too big on commitment, you can visit our PayPal at House of Blurreds, and you can just hit us with a one-time donation because anything counts.
Yes, every dollar counts. Any notes that are left with those donations, being on Patreon or on PayPal, will be read out on the show. So we'll definitely give you a shout out because we greatly appreciate it. Again, thanks for listening. Now back to the show. All right, and we're back. So picking up where we left off, season 3, episode 3, The Walk of Punishment. So Kat's dad died.
Mm-hmm.
And her brother is using bow and arrow.
Y'all about to say that was the funniest shit ever. Like, you just come in, it's such a cold open to the episode, and he died, and then he's just trying to send them off the right way, and this boy was just super lint with these flame arrows.
Like, you would think he would have practiced at some point. Like, this is not something we prepare them for. This is a ritual of your family.
Ain't no practice. Ain't no practice. The man was cross-eyed as hell. He couldn't see the damn boat. Tell me. Listen, when they go to that scene in the damn mess hall with Rob and Carr, and listen, he got the zooming in when he was talking to Rob, I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot he was like a cripple cross-eyed. So he would hit no kind of boat.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and rewind it and watch that again.
What? How did you miss that? That boy was like Music Soul Child cross-eyed.
Oh man, that's so mean.
Hey man, I rock with Music Soul Child, one of my top 5 favorite R&B artists of all time. Y'all said it all time, but that's why that man wore shades everywhere he went.
Yeah, but I don't think I really.
Right, that boy took his shades off for 13 seconds in a half crazy video, and I was like, I see why you have your shades on all the time. Cause man, how you have a lazy eye and a cross eye at the same time? And that's why that man was missing. How you missed 3 shots?
And his uncle was like, just give me the goddamn arrow.
Right. With the no look arrow shot too.
Shona. That was so embarrassing. So Tyrion joins the small council. So this scene here, where Tywin's sitting in there, and then like you got Varys and Littlefinger kind of walk in first, and then Varys tries to, Littlefinger like starts speed walking past Varys to get a seat closest to Tywin, and then Varys just take the next seat, and you got fucking the Maester comes in. And then Cersei's like, well, fuck all of you. I'm just going to take the chair around the table and go like the other side and sit right next to her dad. And then Tyrion's entrance was classic.
Gold. I really thought he was going to pull it around the table and sit next to Cersei. Which
so did I.
Even funnier.
I did too, originally. And then he, drugs it down to the other end. Being just loud as ever. Like, you're going to acknowledge that I am here and my little ass has to drag this chair, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like, you're gonna
with the smirk on the whole time. Whole time he's smirking.
Yes, that was such a great Tyrion scene. So Hot Pie gets a job baking bread, so he stays little innkeep or whatever. And that was the end where on the road to King's Landing in the original in season 1, where the little butcher's boy had got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Hound killed him. Because she asked him that. She's like, do you remember the last time you were here? And he was like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I've been to a lot of inns on a lot of shitty roads. So, yeah. Arya hated him.
And see, that's why it was one of my favorite pairings. Because at the end, I think it really hit me when she was training with Jaqen. And he was telling her to like tell the lies, and she's like, "In the Hound," and I hated him. And then he kept hitting her with the stick, and I was like, "Yeah, you ain't hate him. Shut up."
Yeah, at the end she didn't. Yeah, very true. Let's see. So again, this was another scene where I felt bad for Kat because when she's in the window remembering her dad, and she's like, "I'll never see my sons again." Like, no, you will not.
Yeah. No, you will not at all.
Was this past the point where she was sitting with Rob's? Rob hasn't gotten married yet, right?
No.
Okay,
Yes,
never mind.
Yes.
He has? Was he married this one?
Yes.
We were talking about
If this was past the part where she was explaining the John story.
when she was explaining to Rob's wife, when she was making the little things, when she was telling her about
well, that's all. All I said last was I was saying that they were married. Like they got married a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten to that part yet. No, that's so back to Craster's Keep. Yeah, that's all I wrote for that. So they went back there. Melisande goes to get some king's blood. Okay, so this is when she dips off on Stannis and she's like, yeah, I gotta go run some errands. And he's like, no, I need you here. I want you again. And she's like, back off, bro.
Yo, you kind of, you real weak right now, B. Like if she was black and when he grabbed her face, like with the lean in, she would have gave like the meanest shoulder. You know how y'all do like the side head shoulder get off me, like when you throw the shoulder out the way, like get off me. That's if you don't get off me, man, she'd get them.
Facts. Because she was not with the shits anymore. She was done. Yeah, it's like, you're not the only one out there with King's Blood. So this just goes to, clearly they're seeing some real shit in this fire. If she knows where to go to get this King's Blood, because she knew exactly where to go. Mm-hmm. And she was looking for it. So that means, actually, this right here, and then later on when she meets up with the Brotherhood, like, lets you know, like, all right, this God of Light is real. Like, this ain't no bullshit. I mean, obviously we realized that with Jon later, and then with Beric Dondarrion. When those scenes we really realized, like, all right.
Right. I didn't think it was real until the what's his name again? The Broderick?
Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah, Barrett. Then Darren. I didn't think the Lord of Light was real until Barrett.
So the walk of punishment for the slaves. Danny gets to see what that walk of punishment is when they have all those slaves hanging up on all those road signs.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one like every mile for like
they're mile markers.
Yeah, that. So Sir Barristan tells Danny how Rhaegar was a great man. So I love that Sir Barristan like lets Danny know that all her family was not crazy. Like her dad may have became the Mad King, but they didn't start off that way, and they weren't all that way. Like her brother was a great man, like, and he was decent. I want that show after Game of Thrones ends.
The Targaryen backstories.
Yeah, like I want to see that because he was, and the crazy thing is like he tells her like, no, I was loyal to your parents, and you know I was loyal to them, and he actually killed some of Robert's men, and that's why Roberts didn't make him like the head of his Night's Guard. Like that's why he ended up. That's why he wasn't in the small council. Because when Jern asked him like, "Weren't you in the small council?" and he was like, "Well, you know, Robert didn't want me there because I killed some of his friends." So that's when the head of the King's Guard or whatever was no longer on the small council, which is just crazy together. Like, why would you even keep him?
You can't be kicked out of the King's Guard. I thought that was the thing. You can't leave. Once you pledge yourself, you can't leave the King's Guard.
I mean, when there's a rebellion that revolts in a change of kings, you really expect them to be loyal to you? I mean, I guess maybe you give them a choice.
At the same time, he was still loyal to Rob when he was king.
I mean, he was an honorable dude. Like, he was an honorable guy. But, dude, I mean, everybody couldn't have been that nice. Like, it couldn't have been, like, at the end of the battle, like, all right, you know what, we're all going to switch sides. We're good with you now, homie. Like, after they literally were just fighting Robert and the Starks.
Right.
So.
I think of it as, like, the wall. Like, how they're like, okay, you're either going to submit or you're going to be killed.
Like a house elf?
Yeah.
So Daenerys decides she wants all the Unsullied. And this is when she offers a dragon. And then Jorah and Sir Barristan are like, whoa, what are you doing? And she's like, don't you ever question me in front of company.
Hey, first off, I'll do what I want with my dragon. Watch your mouth. Check me again. And we're going to have issues. You feel me? There's the door. I mean, they ain't really had doors back then, but you know what I'm saying? Just think of the hypothetical door. Just like there it is. It's over there. You could to the left.
Yeah. You say something one more again, you're going to be walking back to King's Landing. I mean, we already walking, but you know, walking. You wouldn't get on the boat when we go.
All right, let's go. Another side notice we always do. You said best friendships.
Uh-huh.
Best character development.
The Hound. For me, it's the Hound.
Out of every single character on the show?
Yeah.
You got to think for the Hound. You got to think for the Hound just like this Negroid over here got a thing for Tormund.
No, I mean, I can see the Hound. Like, from where he was season 1, episode 1 or 2, whenever we first see him, to where he is at the end of season 7.
But all right, let me take it back. I get what you guys are saying from the question that I asked. Let me replace the question with best starting from the bottom. Now we hear character.
Okay,
the Hound still really ain't nobody though. You know what I'm saying? We really think about it.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, he will become the head of the Brotherhood without being.
Yeah.
Probably gonna happen. So at that point, then he will win.
Fantastic character. We love him to death. When we think of the level of where he's at in his power, or whatever you want to call it in the show, like, he's still.
I know what the choice is. Okay.
Huh?
So, are you sticking with the Hound, Armani, or are you changing?
Come up wise, I'd say John. Like, I know I feel like Mo's just shooting for the Daenerys. He wants someone to jump on his Daenerys bandwagon.
Come on.
He's over there with Daenerys.
Yeah.
Danny is bae. You got to realize she was getting She was 2 seconds away from getting raped by the whole Khalazar. You know what I'm saying? If need be. And now she is the strongest person in the world who don't get burnt. She is the unburnt. Or whatever Missandei's long list of she is the breaker chains, the unburnt mother dragon, like this, that whole nine.
Stormborn.
Exactly. You're gonna say Jon Snow, Daenerys Stormborn, breaker chains, mother dragons, the unburnt, and then Jon Snow. He's the king of the north.
You better put some respect on his name.
Hey, hey, Davos is trash for that. Jon Snow, the king of the north. All right, that's it, B. Looked at him like, so you can't just put no respect on my name, B? Like, I can't. I was dead, bro. What you mean? I got stabbed 8 times.
Yeah, that's a hell of an introduction. Like, now picture that. Like, if they ended up being like king and queen at the end, and they're introducing them, and she got all these titles, it's like, and her husband, Jon Snow, king of the north.
King of the north.
He wouldn't even be king of the north at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Jon Snow.
The ex-king of the north.
Jon Snow, he used to be dead. Now he's alive. Like, what?
Her nephew.
There it is. That's the one. Your nephew, Jon Snow, your nephew. What?
That's a brand new
dragons. That's all I'm gonna say is dragons. She had 3. She down 1, but dragons, and she riding them motherfuckers.
Okay, so my choice for best starting from the bottom here.
It better be Bay.
You're right. It is Tormund.
You know what? Y'all have a good night. Y'all are ridiculous.
No, I'm joking. That wasn't really my option. I'm just saying it just to mess with you. I actually was gonna say John. But just for the sake of choosing someone else, Cersei.
You gotta go Tyrion then. No, Cersei was always gonna be that. She was just a murderous. She was a murderous savage.
I don't think at any point I didn't ever, like, watching this, see Cersei on the throne. Like, until it happened. Like, at this point, we're like, okay, maybe Dany's gonna get the throne. Maybe Jon could somehow get this. I don't even think at this point I didn't see Jon on the throne. But we saw seeing Dany.
You know why I disagree with that statement? Because whether you saw Cersei on the throne or not, she still ran King's Landing.
But she been running the show. Especially ever since Joffrey died, she been running the show. Are we just going at this point, or are we going overall?
In general, she was running the shows to me since season 4. Joffrey, she had her influence. She had her influence along the lines of the kings and the queens. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had a strong influence, especially with all those spies and people that would do stuff for her. But once Joffrey got up out of there, she low-key been running the show since season 4.
Actually, you know what? Then in that case, it's probably Varys, because Varys went from a poor boy getting his nuts cut off to sitting on.
Speaking of that episode, by the dude that he got in the box next episode.
Yeah. Yes, you talking about revenge, like
we talking about revenge when he telling the sweetest, most intricate, detailed story, mad calm, popping nails, and all of a sudden he finished, and you open the box, and this boy chilling in the box. Like, please help. What?
So Varys, I think Varys might be the ultimate come up, because I feel like Varys is going to be like last man standing, for sure. He would definitely.
Real talk. If that happens, I'm cool with that. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
If Varys somehow ends up on the Iron Throne, and I wouldn't even be mad.
I don't think he's up on it, but he's gonna end up being like hand to the ...
Right. Hand to the TBD.
Yeah, basically. That's what's gonna happen there.
I'll go with that. I like Varys.
So do I, because he's really just caring about the throne.
Yeah, I like Varys.
Okay, so she offered a dragon for all of the Unsullied and Missandei. And that's when she tells him, don't ever question me again. And this is when, she asks Missandei, she's like, if you could leave, you go back to your family, you can do whatever you want to, or what you want to do. And this is when, this is actually when she makes the comment, Valar Mohad, what the fuck? Valar Morghulis, whatever.
You ain't said it. You didn't say it right.
Enough.
Dag nabbit.
I just can't say it.
You know, and you just say you don't say anything.
Okay, fine. So she said
you say VM or something.
You can't say VD.
Yeah, you're right. You can't say that.
Okay, so this is when she says like all men must die, and then Dany's like, well, we aren't men, and she responds with all men must serve. No, all men must serve, and then all men must die, but we're no men. Yo, that shit right there, I'm not gonna lie, I quoted that for mad long after watching this. When I first watched this, that was like my tagline on mad shit. I'm pretty sure on my Xbox account, my PlayStation account, on Twitter, on Facebook.
Which one was that?
Mad long. When she was like, well, we are no men. So Tyrion gets made the master of coin. Pod gets a girl or 3.
He got like 4.
Right.
He has a whole room of women.
That was such a cute scene for him. Like, cause his face was just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with all this? That was funny. And then
that's really funny. Granted, I know Pod isn't gay. But like, I watched the Joe Budden podcast or listen, whatever you want to call it, and I gotta send you guys a video of this hilarious story called The Story of Antoine. Yes, it's all relative of what we're talking about, because obviously we know from the storyline he acting like he don't know what to do with them girls, but then we cut scene later when they're trying to figure out how was the moment with Pod, and they just like, look, the girls didn't know what to do with that boy. He was special. That reminds me of the story of Antoine. So I got to send it to you. Basically, the gist is Joe had he had a house stripper party, a whole bunch of strippers in there, and it was him and like 2 or 3 of his boys, and then Antoine. Antoine was like, they said he never came out as gay, but he was in the closet. And I guess the strippers was like, come here, little gay boy, we're going to turn you out or whatever. And they said one stripper took him in there. He's like, 10 minutes went by. He's like, they ain't come out. So he's like, another stripper went in. So another 5 minutes went by. And another stripper went there. He said, ain't nobody come out. So Joe was like, this is enough. And he went in there. He said, I went in there. He said he kicked the door down. And he said he started screaming. He said, ah! He said, this boy Anton Dick was to the ground. And he took off running. Like, yo, listen. Took off running. Went to his boy. He was like, hey, what they doing there? He was like, man, they all in there. I got it. Obviously, they would tell it funnier than I would. But he was just like, Antoine wore them girls out. And they didn't really realize it. And it kind of reminded me of that Pod story. Because clearly, Pod was in there putting work in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them.
They let him keep his money.
Right. Just to the point to where they ain't even taking your bread.
You doing them a service.
What?
That's crazy. Littlefinger gonna put Pod to work. Like us got in there.
Oh yeah, Loris's boyfriend.
knows Loris's downfall? Because that was the motherfucker who ratted on Sir Loris.
I thought Cersei's cousin was the one that ratted on Loris.
He ratted on Cersei because he told them the shit that him and Cersei were doing. And then they brought in that dude and he narked on Loris.
Oh, okay.
And then he's the one who also got Marjorie caught up because he was like, well, Marjorie walked in. Because that time when Marjorie had walked in on them and she literally just sat on the bed. And she's like, how about you get shit and go? We got shit to do. He didn't look like that kind of white boy that would just like go like
snitch.
Yeah, he the one calling the cops for loud noise. Man, just unseasoned chicken. So, okay. Let's see. We learned that Littlefinger owes millions. What the fuck happened to Theon here? Because my only note is Theon thought.
Oh, when this was when Ramsay had him running around the castle or like the castle grounds, and he was trying to get him to tell him what happened with Bran and Rickon. It's like when he basically took him in a whole circle. Because he's like, all right, your sister's here. She sent me to come get you.
That's right.
And I'm going to take you. And then he took him to that grate. And Theon was like, I didn't even kill the Stark boys. It was just some random boys. And he's like, okay, all right. Your sister's right over here.
Yes.
Dungeon.
That's not a red flag. But my thing is, that's not a red flag to you in your head. Just, oh, okay, you just murdering people like it's nothing. All right. Hey, you want to come in here now? What?
Yo, that was so grimy.
You would just think for the fact that Theon grew up in the north, he would know where they were going. Like, how did he not know that that was a passageway to the dungeons? Because they were still in Winterfell.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, how did Theon not know where the fuck they was at? Like, how does Ramsay know? Well, okay, take that back. Were they at Moat Cailin or were they at Winter? No, they weren't at Winterfell. They were at Moat Cailin.
Okay.
So that,
okay, that made more sense.
Because I was about to say the same thing. Like, what? You're right. How the fuck did he not know the grounds of Winterfell? But if they were at Moat Cailin, which I think they were. Yeah, I think they were at Moat Cailin. So JV saves Brienne, but loses his hand in
the process.
He gave up a hand.
That was one of the coolest scenes of the show to me. Or not coolest, but like well shot. Like you watched that and you were just like, you knew it was going to cut credits. Like, that was, in my opinion, it's one of the hardest scenes.
And the fucker who cut his hand off, until, again, rewatching this, did not place him at the wall. Because he ends up on the wall later. He ends up with Jon later. And it was like, yo, I didn't even realize that was the same.
Yeah, that's who Ramsay sends to kill Jon. Because he doesn't want to ever be potentially challenged by a Stark, even if it's just a bastard.
Oh, bitch ass.
And
there's certain characters in this show that I would just
like the punch in the face, real life.
Just no, not a punch in the face, but just too tickled to see y'all get the fuck out of here. Too tickled.
Yeah,
I was thrilled. There's about. Ooh, I got another one. Probably my favorite one so far. Top 5 of the characters that you wanted to see get the fuck out of here.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh, that was a good one. You already know. You know my number one. Oh, number one. He might be number one, and then the next is like tied for third, 2 tied for thirds or something. Because Joffrey, man, you know how I feel about them little bitch asses. Joffrey had to get up out of here.
Okay, so who's your top 5?
My top 5? All right. Joffrey had to get up out of here. I like I like villains, but there was just a certain point where Ramsay would just overkill. And I was just like, all right, now you're being extra trying to do the most. To be the bad guy. So I didn't like that. What's the dude? Was it Alistair?
Sir Thorne?
The dude that killed Jon. The main guy that didn't like Jon at the Castle Black.
Yeah, that was Sir Alistair Thorne.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sir Alistair, I didn't like him. Kick 2 rocks and get all the way up out of here. Hey, Craster Craster had to go. I know he wasn't like the biggest. Huh?
I said King Creepy.
Yeah, like I know he wasn't like the big. He didn't have like the biggest role, but he was immediately on my nerves. Like out the gate, I was like, bro. And you acting crazy on these dudes? They just trying to come get a little bit of food. You know what I'm saying? Spend the night so they can get some rest and slide, and you just being like, nah. And then you bragging and boasting that you're killing sons, and you got 99 wives, and they your daughter. Like, yo. We talked about the incest. Yo.
And he was the king of it for sure.
Yo.
So who was like his main wife? Like, where was that lady at who birthed like these first girls?
It's kind of old.
And then obviously my number 5, we just discussed it a second ago, was probably Qyburn. Get him up out of here, B.
Okay. That's a pretty solid 5. Armani, anybody you'd put on the list that wasn't in that list?
Waterfrey. Because I feel like he's right up there with Craster. Like, I was immediately just like, yeah, nah. He needs to go.
See, but the reason why the 2 reasons why I probably didn't put Waldo on the list is, 1, he was like the old creepy man. Like this is going to sound awful because I don't want to sound this. He's like harmless. Like, he's bad. He's not good, but it's just like, I can punch you in the face and kill you. Like, at least Craster would look like a fat old dude. He wanted to fight everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, Waldo wasn't fighting nobody. He was getting other people to fight his battles. Like, you was the real creepy old dude. And then 2, like, you really, 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 really got what's coming to you. That was amazing. Like, Craster just got the 1-2 and you got up out of there. young Ari took her sweet time with that man. Like, fed him the pie. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was a full-on plot plan for that.
Here, my lord.
Huh?
When she was like, right here, my lord.
Yeah, like, it was full plot plan. Pull the mask off. Like, hit you with the 1-2. Yeah, it was a plot behind that. So,
So I would say the one person who was not on that list, because that's definitely just the list, that I would add was Peter Baelish. I was fucking ready, and I didn't think the moment was gonna come. Like, I was over him. I was over him.
And Littlefinger played double dutch too much for me. Like, so that's why that was another reason why I couldn't. He wouldn't be able, because sometimes he'd do something good, and then other times he'd be the biggest piece of shit ever. So I'm just like,
Once we found out that was his knife, and like he was the one who set all this shit in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like once we found out he was the one that killed Robert Aaron, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, damn. Like, you literally, this is all your fault. It's not even Bran's fault right now. It's your fault. And then, which also, I guess that takes us into when Bran found that out, did we get the whole Night King because Bran was trying to go back and stop that, maybe?
Yeah.
Stop what? Stop him from killing Robert Aaron?
Yeah, like trying to stop this whole thing, and he had to go back so far and was like in there so long, and then, you know, he fucked shit up. Because you would assume that Bran knows that.
I honestly no, because I feel like now that Bran is the three-eyed raven, okay, so at first when he was first having his little powers and kept going back, he hadn't taken on the full responsibility of knowing everything and trying to go back and change things. Like, okay, so yeah, he was still trying to go back and change things. Like, he's like, okay, he wasn't taking it as, this is my knowledge. He was like, this is my opportunity to fix stuff. But now that he's the three-eyed raven, he's like in that monotone state, he's kind of just like, I'm more of a record keeper than a fixer.
I guess I can see that. Because he didn't even know the full Rhaegar story until Sam filled in the gap there. And then he went back to that moment and watched it again. And that's when we fully seen it. Because it was Sam who told Bran that no, that marriage was annulled, and his marriage to Lyanna was like legit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he doesn't know all the shit we think he knows.
I think it's one of the things where it's like he doesn't know, like he doesn't have all this knowledge just sucked into his head at once. But it's like he can go back and get it.
All right, so I still hate Littlefinger. Littlefinger's still trash. Yeah, but I think that's probably the fair list of people who are ready to get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah,
All right, hey, I got one. So opposite of that, who has died that you would bring back?
Oh, come on. Who you
That's
say?
my number one. She's my number one character, period.
Who?
Lady Olenna.
Oh yeah, I mean, 100% number one. Number two, y'all gonna laugh. Take a guess. Let's see if y'all on the same wavelength. Take a guess. If I say y'all gonna laugh, who's my number two? Come on. See if you got this ESP popping.
Well, we know it's not Khal Drogo.
No. He's on the list. He's on the list though. He's on my list. It's no order. It's no order, but just know I was saying y'all gonna laugh. That's my number two. All right, come on now. Why y'all drawing the biggest blank?
Ygritte.
No, why would I laugh at Ygritte? Why would you laugh at Ygritte?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who.
Yeah, I was like, who am I laughing?
Laughing?
Right.
Hodor. Hodor.
Oh, that doesn't make me want to laugh. It makes me want to cry.
Oh, I thought y'all was going to. I mean, yeah, Hodor was cool, man. I need Hodor back.
Hodor deserves to come back.
Hodor, for sure. Lady O, number one. Hodor, Khal, obviously. You know what I'm saying? That boy is a super savage.
Oh, he fucked John up.
Huh?
I said he will fuck John up.
Oh, yeah, nah, John stood a chance.
He would be warden in the north.
In the cold. No, damn well he don't need to be in the cold. No, fuck that. I ain't bringing Ned back. He was hard.
I would bring back Catelyn just so she can see her kids, like where they're at.
Oh
now.
yeah, there you go. There you go. There's your last two. Cat and Rob.
Yeah, Cat and Rob for sure. Or you know what? No, what's his face? Rickon.
Man, get him out of here, man. I want you. So what? You gonna bring him back so he can have his 2 appearances a season in the crypt?
Him and Shaggy Dog. Oh,
right,
fuck that. Like Shaggy Dog. I'm bringing back.
Yeah, we can bring back Direwolves. Hell yeah.
I'm bringing back Summer. Like, I'm just bringing back all.
Yeah, hell yeah. We bringing back 2 Direwolves.
Fuck the kids.
Fuck them kids. We bringing back Direwolves.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, my number 3 would be Marcella for Jaime. Marcella and Tommen. Because that scene where Marcella was talking to Jaime on that boat.
She told him that she knew that he was her dad.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would. Well, he gonna die, so I mean, up until that point, yeah. Marcella.
Nah. I don't care for the incest, so you know how I feel.
Have family that genuinely loved him.
Get that out of here. These incest babies. Now, if I had to make a real list, I would say yes, Lady O 1, Khal 2. Hodor is probably like number 5. I like Rob. I would say Rob is at 3. And number 4. Who died that I like? I can't think of.
Who?
Oh yeah. Oh man, who died?
She didn't get the reference.
Right, it's probably Summer. Fuck that. Fuck Ned. Fuck Catelyn. Get this work, Summer. They did you dirty, and they had you walk around.
Do we got anything else from these episodes? Any other takeaways? So next episode we'll be covering season 3 episodes 4, 5, and 6. This is when like shit really heats up. Like it gets good. These are 3 episodes.
This is when the show turns it on.
That was a whole ass podcast. So until next time, take care of yourselves and be good to each other.